So today's topic is government accounting introduction part. So objective of the government. Objective of the government is welfare of the people in the form of various services. How government do such uh, welfare? By allocating nation's resources or revenues to different services or programs. So what is government accounting? It refers to the accounting system implemented and followed by the government officers to record the financial transactions of the government. So, definition given by the Oshisami and Dean. Government accounting is the process of recording, analyzing, classifying, summarizing, communicating, and interpreting the financial information about the government in aggregate and in details, reflecting all transactions involving the receipts, transfer, and the disposition of government funds and property. So, this is definition of the government accounting given by the Oshisami and Dean. So, classification of income and expenditure. So, see in the first, according to the requirements of the government, according to the requirements of the government, it is necessary to classify the incomes and expenditure of the services under various heads and subheads. So, according to the requirements of the government, if government doesn't require, they will just remove the subheads. So, it is a basic classification of revenues and expenditure. So, let us go through with the revenues are classified into tax revenue, and in that tax revenue, taxes on incomes and expenditure, taxes on property and capital transactions, taxes on commodities and services, etc. So again, non-tax revenue, so interest revenues, interest receipts, dividend and profit and others. So expenditure in the form of different services: general services, administrative services, defense services, servicing of debts, fiscal services, etc. So another heading: social services, economic services, and grant in aid and contribution. See, in the form of services, they just maintain the expenditure. So what is an accounting reform? Accounting reform is an expansion of accounting rules. Just remember, accounting reform is nothing but an expansion of accounting rules. Why it is required? Why? Because rapid pace of globalization of Indian economy is happening, and the increasing convergence of accounting standards, the world requires us to move rapidly. Unless until if we make our accounts understandable by the other countries, so other countries won't show the interest to invest in our country, to invest in our projects, whatever the project it may be. So we have to make our accounts understandable by other countries. So unless until if we make any adjustment, it won't be understandable. That is why our Indian accounting standards are familiar with the international financial standards. So conversion of cash to accrual accounting system and single to double entry bookkeeping. So why now the topic is conversion of a cash to accrual accounting system? Why they want to convert? See, in the government accounting, generally government accounting follows cash basis, but just as discussed before, So to make it understandable, to consider all the transactions, we have to adopt such a accrual accounting system as well. So in the first sentence, I mentioned the introduction of accrual concept will have to supplement and not supplant or replace the existing cash system. That means it is an addition to the existing cash system, but it is not going to replace the cash system. So it is just an addition, not the replacement. So in the first sentence itself, we mentioned it. So, okay, what is the basis of accounting? So basis of accounting, there are two basis of accounting, cash basis of accounting and accrual basis of accounting. So whatever the accounting system, it recognizes the transaction. So here it is mentioned, transaction is recognized by the accounting system. How they recognize, how that account system is going to recognize, based on the set of concepts and the rules of such accounting system. Okay, based on the set of concepts and the rules of such accounting system. So we have a cash basis of accounting and accrual basis of accounting. So cash basis of accounting, what are the concepts and rules? Transactions are considered or recognized. Transactions are considered or recognized when cash is received or paid. Accrual accounting method. Accounting system records a transaction, or accrual accounting system recognizes a transaction when the right to earn income is established. When the right to earn the income is established, or when expenditure is committed. It means the concept of due. It is considering the concept of due. Whenever it's going to be, see, when the right to earn income is established, then only with the immediate effect, this accrual accounting system recognizes such transactions. But in cash transaction, unless until it is received, it is not going to recognize such transaction. Okay. Bookkeeping system. A bookkeeping system can either be single entry or double entry. Single entry system, income and expenses are recorded through a daily summary of cash receipts and cash disbursements. So nothing but cash basis of accounting and nothing but cash basis of accounting and single entry, wherever the single entry is, wherever the cash basis of accounting is followed, where in that place that single entry is followed. So double entry system, daily transactions including sales, purchases, cash receipts, account receivables and accounts payable are recorded in journals. Accrual basis of accounting. So every transaction has a debt in one account and a credit in another. While double entry is more time consuming, it is more accurate as it is self-balancing. So accrual basis of accounting is best implemented using double entry method of bookkeeping, while single entry method of bookkeeping is normally predominant where cash basis of accounting is adopted. See, that is why I mentioned the cash basis of accounting immediate to the single entry system. Okay, next, cash basis of accounting. In this system of accounting, transactions are recognized or recorded when there is the actual flow of cash, whether it is outflow or inflow. So what is an outflow, what is an inflow? Revenue is recognized only when it is actually received. Expenditure is recognized only on the outflow of the cash. So no consideration is given to the due fact of the transaction. So there is no consideration is given to the due, but in accrual, it is going to consider. That is why. Benefits. This system of accounting is simple and understand. It needs less skill on the part of accountant. Its whole focus is on cash management. The recognition trigger is simply the flow of cash. The budgetary and legislative compliance is easier under this cash basis of accounting. So, limitations of the cash system of accounting, cash basis of accounting. It does not provide a complete picture of the financial position. That is, information on assets and liabilities are not available for fixed assets, land, building, machineries, defense, heritage assets, etc. Second point, no information about capital work in progress like dams, power plants, roads and bridges, etc. is available. So no information is available about the capital work in progress. So third point, it does not give the full information on current assets. Example, accrued income like outstanding royalty, fee, service charges, tax arrears, etc. So next point, comprehensive information is not available about government liabilities. Comprehensive information is not available about government liabilities like pensionary commitments, interest due, bill payments, depreciation for replacement of assets. So these are the examples. Fifth point, unit cost and total cost of services provided by the government departments like health, education, water supply, transportation, etc. is not ascertainable. Is not ascertainable, as depreciation, interest, etc. are not apportionable. It is not apportionable to the departments. So that is why there is no concept of unit cost and total cost of services department wise. So sixth point, it ignores certain transaction by not recording expenditure already incurred but payment not made. Already incurred but payment not made, because on the basis of disbursement of cash only, cash basis of accounting is going to recognize such transactions. It is not going to recognize this transaction when it is incurred. Example, supplies made, salaries, telephone charges, overdue interest, etc. And also revenue earned but cash not received. Example, license fee, service delivery, etc. Next point, it gives a wrong picture of income received, as advance tax receipts are recognized as income. Advance tax receipts is nothing but a liability. We have to pay it back. Till then, the government has to pay the interest on such advance tax receipts. In some cases, not in all cases, in some cases. No weightage is given to the concept of matching. That is, expenses of a specific period should be set off against the revenues of the same period. No weightage is given to the concept of matching. That is, expenses of a specific period should be set off against the revenues of the same period. No disclosure is made about contingent assets and contingent liabilities, which may turn into committed ones on account of guarantees given or letter of comforts issued by the government. So no disclosure is made about contingent asset. If suppose government gives any guarantee for a particular transaction, so they are not going to record it. Why? Because when it may happen or may not happen, what if such person, such an institution um, went into losses and unable to fulfill the requirement, then whoever gives the guarantee, they will pay. They have to pay. So in such cases, it is not going to record contingent asset and contingent liabilities. Next point, no information is provided about existing net liabilities of public enterprises and agencies outside the government, although the latter cannot escape such liabilities. So next point, no disclosures are made about the accounting policies on the basis of which financial statements are prepared. So it provides room for fiscal opportunism. Example, tax revenues okay it provides room for fiscal opportunism. Example, tax revenues can be collected in excess during a particular period, followed by high incidence of refunds together with interest. High incidence of refunds together with interest. Payments can be easily deferred and passed on to the next fiscal year, sorry, next financial year. Revenue due in the future could be compromised by providing for one-time payment. So revenues due in future could be compromised by providing for one-time payments. Note, due to the above disadvantages, it is not possible to get the real picture of the government financial performance and position. So, why they want to give a clear picture, a real performance of government? Because of some lackingness in the accounting rules, it is not possible. That is why accounting reforms, they will just expand the rules to include accrual basis along with the cash basis. That is why the concept of accrual system is arised. And that is why they introduced the accrual basis of accounting system in government accounting. Okay, what are the issues relating to the current cash basis system? It cannot be used either for meaningful cash management or rational resource allocation. So even resource allocation is also not be meaningful in this cash basis of accounting system. If the government continues this cash basis accounting system, it's not going to be a meaningful resource allocation. The system also suffers from a lack of uniformity in measurement of norms and inadequacy in disclosure standards in financial statements. The cash based system cannot be used effectively to fix accountability for performance. So, accountability is very much essential everywhere, not only in government, everywhere. Accountability. Who is accountable for such a expenditure? Who is accountable for such revenues? Who is accountable for such misappropriation? So, effectively, to fix accountability in the cash basis system, it is not possible. Transactions where no cash is paid or received are not recorded, even if the value has been received or a liability contracted. So, some transactions, deals, like mm, government do some transactions with the public and with the charitable institutions. At that time, they receive value, but they did not record it because there is no cash transfers will happen. Past transactions relating to assets and liabilities cannot be captured automatically, but only through elaborate subsidiary information. So, next one. It is difficult to keep an accurate track of assets. It is difficult to keep an accurate track of assets. And it is easy to understate liabilities. So, liabilities of the government, whenever interest is going to be added, it is not going to consider it because it is due basis, it is going to add. At the time of payment only, it is going to reveal that this liability was increased. So, understate liabilities will happen if we maintain, if government maintains cash basis. More significantly, government departments that offer commercial goods and services quite often face the risk of not knowing their full cost, as the current system does not automatically record and provide this information. So it is not going to record their full cost of such service, of such commercial goods. So the risk of such things will happen if they maintain cash basis. These deficiencies result in weak stewardship, lack of transparency, and an impaired ability to accurately predict the future cost of the current financial commitment. So, this is what about the cash basis of accounting. This is why they want to expand the rules. This is why they want to convert or involve accrual basis of accounting system. So, what is an accrual basis of accounting? It is a system of accounting in which transactions are entered in the books of accounts when they become due. When they become due, transactions are recognized as soon as a right to receive revenue and or an obligation to pay a liability is created. So expenses are recognized when the resources are consumed and incomes are booked when they are earned. The focus is on the recording of a flow of resources, that is labor, goods, services, and capital. The related cash flow may take place after some time. or it may or may not take place in the same accounting period. Advantages. It helps in the assessment of financial performance by correctly reflecting surplus or deficit as all expenses, whether paid or not. They will consider all expenses, whether paid or not, and all incomes, whether received or not, are duly accounted for. That is why we can easily identify what is the financial performance, easily assess deficit and surpluses arises out of such transactions. It gives information on whether income streams are adequate to meet the short and long-term liabilities, so that their early payment keeping in view their payment period, whether it is short term or long term. And nature, cheap or costly loan, can be better managed. Next point, it provides comprehensive information on expenses that helps in knowing the cost of consequences of policies, and enables comparison with alternative policies. It means comprehensive information on expenses that helps in knowing the cost consequences of policies. See, if one project is going on, in such project, expenses may rise due to inflation. So, to cover such inflation, government, they just modify the policies, they just modify the budgets. So beyond the budget, sometimes it happens, beyond the budget expenses they will incur. So they'll just record so it is easy to identify the consequences, and we can government can easily provide alternative policies as well based on such information. Fourth point, information about calculation of a subsidy can be extracted from the accounts, which helps in its rationalization, This ensures the adoption of the best policy, which in turn assures optimal use of scarce resources. It also helps in ascertaining the future sustainability of programs. See, I just forgot to underline this point, like adoption of best policy. It ensures the adoption of best policy, which in turn assures optimal use of scarce resources. Next point, liquidity position of government can be better assessed. If we know all the information about the expenditure and incomes, we can easily identify the deficit or surplus, so that we can easily know the liquidity position what government has. It gives comprehensive information on the financial position, that is assets and liabilities of the government. In this system of accounting, financial decisions are not seen merely from the point of view of a cash outgo or inflow, but also from their impact on the assets and liability position of the government. future funding requirements of assets enabling planning of their timely maintenance and replacement. It makes disclosures on account of contingent assets and contingent liabilities, so that risk associated with the guarantees issued and the letters of comfort given can be better assessed by the user of the financial statements. So whatever the limitations in the cash system, it is covered here. So if government gives guarantee, so in the cash basis, they won't record the contingent assets or contingent liabilities, but in accrual basis, they'll record it. So risk associated with the guarantees issued and letters of comfort given, so they'll just disclose it. It bridges the gap left over by cash accounting. Just before I told you, it bridges the gap. Whatever the limitation it covers, it is covered in the accrual basis of accounting. It bridges the gap left over by cash accounting by inclusion of accrued expenses and accrued revenues, receivables and payables, physical assets, capital work in progress and depreciation, pension liabilities and provisions, etc. in the accounting system. So that is why previously the government is maintaining cash basis of accounting, and they just bring the accounting reform by adding or expanding the rules by adding the accrual accounting. It discloses the accounting policies used in the preparation of financial statements for better understanding and appreciation of financial statements. So finally, note. So in the beginning, I just mentioned this sentence. The introduction of accrual concept will have to supplement, not to replace the existing cash system. It is just an addition, not to replace the cash system. In governments, accounting is not divorced from budgeting. Accounting is not divorced from budgeting. Preferably, budgetary reforms should be taken up along with the accounting reforms. So this is the end of the class. So this is why the government adopted accrual basis of accounting. Thank you.